All right. You know what? Let's just kick it off now because we're gonna do a tournament today for redo as well. So guys, in an hour around 6 o'clock. Also, how is everyone doing? Happy Tuesday. I am a little under the weather, so bear with me today. You probably can hear it. You'll definitely hear me blow my nose and, you know, all that good stuff. I'm very nasally. I caught a cold on Saturday into Sunday night, and I've been recovering from it. I did not work today. I'm probably not going to work tomorrow either in terms of like my actual job outside of Yu-Gi-Oh! And content creation, all that good stuff. But yeah, I played this deck over the weekend at an Edison Major. I decked Devastators 9. As some of you may know already, and I ended up actually doing pretty well with it. I went X2, so I went 6-2, and I got 17th place, which is obviously the worst place to get. But I knew based on my tiebreakers day 1 that I wasn't going to be able to make it, even if I won the last round of Swiss on day 2, which I expressed to my 2 teammates who did top this event, which are Hydro Pump and Rodnak. Shout out to them. They did really well. Now, I saw this deck, and you guys, if you saw the video today, the Hero Frog OTK deck, this deck originally came from last week actually. So last week there was this person, SASP, who used this deck at Beast Mode's tournament, right? And we had just played this on the channel like right after that event. And so I was like, I like this deck, and when me and Kenny played it on Master and Disaster, you know, obviously it's 60 cards, and it, you know, 60 cards is 60 cards, right? It's gonna be pretty ridiculous, but I still was like, I want to try it because I love playing frogs and I love playing every kind of frog deck. And this is taking the best 2 frog decks, which is Frog OTK and Hero Frogs, and is like combining them. And I kind of consider this to be like the breaking all the rules deck. Now, I did not play this exact build card for card. As you will notice, my list here is actually pretty different from the one that was played here. So in terms of not that many changes in the main deck, but more so the side deck. The changes I made in the main deck, I'll just go over them really quickly. So I took out a Death Frog, and I took out this Mother Grizzly, and I took out a Maria Greed. So I took out a Death Frog and a Mother Grizzly for Neil's Alias and Infernal Prodigy, which you'll notice I'm playing both of these. The reason being, when I was doing test hands, that's how I test frogs, I just go into solo mode. When I was doing test hands, I didn't like how often E-calls and stuff like that would be dead, because you were only playing Stratos and Ocean, and in 60 cards I feel like you can fit whatever you want. Like there's really no excuse to not fit something that you really want to fit because you're playing 60. Like you can never say, oh, I couldn't fit it. So I was like, I'm going to find a way to fit Alias in here so that my E-calls are never dead. And also I just like Alias in general. Like you guys know I like Alias. And Infernal Prodigy, nope, sorry. And Infernal Prodigy, I like this card when you do not have Treeborn access. What's up, Dennis? When you do not have Treeborn access, which can happen, Infernal Prodigy is really, really strong, and I just like this card in general. I think it's really strong with Substitute. These two are a wombo combo turn 1. You just get to do full dupe combo. So I took out, like I said, I took out a Death Frog and I took out a Mother Grizzly for those two. Now, because I took out these 2 water monsters, a Death Frog and a Mother Grizzly, I took out a Maria Greed and I put in a D Prison in the main deck. And what this did was it's freed up space in my side deck, because my side deck was 3 D prisons. Well, I should say SASP's side deck was 3 D prisons. And I was like, I want to clear space in the side deck because I don't really care for the side deck. I'm never siding Transmigration Prophecy. I think this card is unplayable. So I was like, I'm not siding Transmigration Prophecy. I'm going to main a D prison to clear up some space. That way I can play a card that's actually good, and that's Soul Exchange. Soul Exchange is one of the best cards in Frog's side deck and main deck. I think this card is absolutely incredible, and I do not play Frog decks without it. It answers almost everything that you needed to answer in games 2 and 3. Especially, and in game 1 it also just makes it where you go first if you start off with it, so you can go like Substitute, Soul Exchange on their face down monster. You guys know I won the whole tournament with Soul Exchange in my main deck. I sided additional copies. I swear by this card. I think it's one of the best cards in the format for frogs. I also sided Dark Death Spirit instead of a third Vanity's Fiend. I think Dark Death Spirit is great. I really like this card. It deals with a lot of nonsense. The Frog Mirror match is really good against because they can't Monarch it away. So if you guys get into that little Monarch contest, you're not really playing the same game as them because you're just like summon this, clear your field, attack, bounce to my hand, go, and they can't Monarch you back, which is really strong. So Dark Death Spirit is really good. It also can be good against other decks. Like if you're playing against anything that's weird recruiters, technically it can be good against Gigavice if they summon like Titanial and Gigaplant and Power Tool. That can happen, I suppose. But yeah, I like this card. The third Caius I sided as well because when I conversion side with this deck, because this deck kind of does do a conversion side as well, I take out cards and put in a third Caius. So, you know, it kind of like his side deck, the original creator of the 60 card build from Beast Mode Circus Series a couple weeks ago now, he did not side Caius, he sided Transmigration Prophecy, he did not side Soul Exchange, so I just fixed it up to where it's to my liking. And again, I went 6-2 with this deck, and I got 17th place, as some of you may know, so I just missed top cut. Which I knew on day 1 because my tiebreakers were not that great. One of my tiebreakers went 2 and 3, so he beat me and then immediately just did not win again. And so Yeah, and then my other tiebreaker did top though. Where is he? What's his name? Scoop Phase. Scoop Phase did end up topping. So this guy did well. So if my first tiebreaker performed a little bit better, I would have made top cut. But you know, we do it for the content. Like we absolutely do it for the content, guys. So I'm playing 60 cards in online tournaments, and honestly, this was one of the funnest tournaments I've ever played in, like in all seriousness, because I did not know how fun this deck would be, but if you look at this just looks like fun. Like everything about this deck screams fun. Like it is by far the most like freestyle crazy wombo combo deck you'll ever play. So I'm just gonna go over some replays now. You know, I kind of explained like the deck. Like I said, it's Hero Frogs and it's Frog OTK. It can do both things, right? The King of the Swamps, I hated them at first when I was practicing with the deck in solo mode. I hated them at first, but then I realized why they're played. Hear me out. So King of the Swamp makes salvage better because it is a card that you can get in the graveyard very easily and you can salvage it back. So you can discard it, get polymerization to your hand, right? And it cannot be used as a hero. It needs to be used as it can only be used as a water for Miracle Fusion and for polymerization. It cannot be treated as a hero monster. So just keep that in mind. So you can't like polymerization a Treeborn Frog and King of the Swamp to make absolute zero. If you could do that, that would be fucking nuts. But apparently you can't do that. I had to look up the ruling, and apparently it has to be like, you know, something that's named or whatever. So, but this card is actually not bad. I thought it was going to be really bad, but it's actually not bad because it makes salvage really good. It makes swap frog and salvage really good because if you open up both, you can just like pitch, you know, send subs to salvage both back and all that good stuff. So King of the Swamp wasn't bad. Also, I realized King of the Swamp makes Malicious good too, because you can go summon Stratos, search Malicious, discard King of the Swamp, play Polymerization, discard Malicious, discard Fishborg Blaster, summon Absolute Zero, play Miracle Fusion. Like you can just do so many fun things. And I have a bunch of replays here. We're going to go through all 8 rounds of replays. So I have every single replay here. So we're going to go through all 8 replays. I'm going to try to do this quickly because I do have a tournament to start at 6 o'clock. It's a redo tournament. So I'm going to try to do this as fast as possible. But yeah, so why don't we just get into the first of many replays? I'm going to do the replays out of order. So you'll see why at the end, but I'll do, so this one, let's start with this one first. Should I keep sound on for this or should I turn it off? Okay, so I immediately see my opponent is playing, I assume some kind of like Carpath deck, right? So I get dust shoot it, which obviously, you know, getting dust shoot it really sucks there. So they mill Dark Arm, and I'm like, okay, I still don't quite know what my opponent's playing. I've seen a deck similar to this, but it's not popular. So like, I'm just hoping for the best here. Did I just draw the second Malicious? I just drew the second Malicious, so there's that. 60 cards, by the way. I'm not playing in the redo tournament, no. I am hosting the redo tournament. Convert Contact, D-draw for those guys. I think I came really close to winning this game, but I did get dust shoot it and I did go second. Also, I want to say this. I was 1-7 in die rolls in this tournament. I was 1-7 in die rolls. So just keep that in mind. Like, I still ended up going X2. I still ended up going 6-2, but I was 1-7 in die rolls, which is fucking wild. You're going to see me go second a lot. You're also going to see me get dust shooted a lot. Solemn on the flip-flop frog. Yeah, I know, right? Playing Malicious and drawing double Molly is kind of crazy. In 60 cards. Okay, so I wasn't crazy. I did come really close to winning this game because my opponent's at 600 against an absolute 0, and I have Treeborn Access Engrave. They summoned Dark Creator, which I feel like he just like played that off the top, but I wasn't 100% sure. He actually, so he has 2 of them anyway. So he actually could have done this a different way too. He could have, after making Embryonic, he could have bounced the Dark Creator to his hand and then discarded to bounce my Absolute Zero, which would have killed the Embryonic. So he didn't need 2 Dark Creators to do this. He could have done it with just 1. All right, now it's time to see me cook though. All right, here we go. Backdoor 2-0. Backdoor 2-0, chat. All right, so I open up draw pass. Like my hand is really a bunch of random cards, so I didn't want to play anything. So I just was like blatantly like, all right, if you attack, I have Gores. Most people do not play around Gores because it's 60 cards, which I understand. But I do have the Gores because, you know, I do play it. So this attack goes through and I'm like, okay, interesting. Sure. I was going to do this with Swap Frog if I drew it anyway. So I was like, that's fine. We can get in some free damage here. I do have a Regeki Break set. I have 2 Regeki Break set, apparently. Yep, Cross Porter. This is a lot of damage to just be taking. Yeah, I mean, they're at 2,000, and I haven't really done anything yet. So I'm in a really good spot. These games are kind of unlosable when frogs do like this. Like, he's at 100. Like, there's no way I can lose this game now. Like, if I have to Unifrog you, I will Unifrog you, right? You said you smell Torrential? Yeah, I definitely feel like Torrential is in waiting. I'm not. So he's like, Mind Crush, and he calls Ojama Yellow. And I'm like, LOL, okay, I don't have that, obviously. And I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to discard on purpose. So he's like, pick a random card. So I hit a Black Panther. And then obviously he's going for Dark Creator, which is why he wanted to do that whole thing in the first place. So... Yep, Dark Creator comes down. Summons Armageddon Knight. Armageddon Knight send Plague. I draw for turn, and I'm pretty sure this is just game. Sack for Caius. He bottomlesses it, does not matter. You are dead. You are at 100 life points. I can kill you in 18 different ways. All right, game 3. So our hand is absolutely ridiculous. I did draw Death Frog, which is annoying, but you know, we just take. I only play 1 Death Frog. Because the originator was playing 2, and I do not want to ever draw 2 Death Frogs. So, all right, well, now things get, watch how out of hand things get, chat. Watch how ridiculous this turn is. Just like, look at what is happening. Look at what is absolutely happening right now, chat. Like, what about this is okay? This deck is so fun, bro. This deck is so fun. Kill token, bounce up the breaker, go into a flip-flop frog. Yeah, I mean, he's cooked. Like, there's no... Crow's my Treeborn for no reason. Solemn. This is the second time. This is the second time my flip-flop got Solemn, by the way. Unifrog go in first. He deprisons it, beats over Gores. Let's get our strat man. But yeah, this game is like, look at how many cards I have. I have 8 cards to my opponent's 2, right? So there's no way. Yeah, there's just no shot. So, okay, let's move on to the next round. Try to get this over quick. Like I said, I have a tournament at 6. Redo tournament I'm hosting. As you can see, I lose the die roll again, right? So that we're 0-2 in die rolls. We're 0-2 in die rolls. Do I get dust shooted here again? Okay, I don't get dust shooted, thank God. All right, so we Stratos, get Malicious. Look at how broken this hand is, though. Poly, discard Malicious, discard Fishborg. This deck is so cool because it's very aggressive. Or it can be, I should say. Like, you can be very aggressive. My opponent did not play this very well. He had the option to make a Stardust Dragon, and he just did not. And I was like, I don't really know what's going on. Like, I thought for sure he would have made Stardust and just, like, you know, did the thing, but he didn't. So I just capitalize on it, and we're just going to run in Now he decides to make a level 8, but it's like, and then he makes Thought Ruler, and I think that this is crazy because you're basically saying that you don't believe I'll have a water monster next turn to make 0 bigger, so I don't really know why he did not kill the 0 when he could multiple times, but you can only play the opponent who's in front of you. So I decided to get Junk Synchron to bring back Fishbrook Blaster, and the only reason I did this is because I wanted 0 to be 3000, right? So 0 beats over the Thought Ruler. Let me get in for some more damage. Future Fusion. This deck is so fun, chat. This is like one of the funnest decks I've ever played in my life. Like in all formats. I love this deck so much. Just look at the nonsense. A Miracle Fusion. My 0 is 3500. And he shows me that he drew another dead Miracle Fusion. He had no water monsters, so he just lost. I do think he could have played that better, though. But, again, you can only play who's in front of you. So, turn 1, he is going to make a Stardust Dragon in set 3. And my hand is actually really good against his opening. Here's something that's going to annoy me. I guess I'm going to talk about this right here. So I brain control his Stardust. He thinks for a very long time, and then he flips up Mask and Restrict. But this is bad, chat. Like, do not do this. This is really fucking bad. This Stardust should have been a Thought Ruler Archfiend. There is no reason to make a Stardust and set Mask and Restrict. This is a non-bow. This is not a combo. This does not do anything. You now have summoned a 2500 vanilla. This card can now be outed by Mirror Force, by Deep Prison, by Raigeki Break, by anything. Like, literally, this is a 2500 vanilla monster now because of this. So this is just bad. So if he's watching this, you know, this is not something that you should be doing. You should definitely make this Thought Ruler, because if this was Thought Ruler, then I cannot out it with Deep Prison or Raigeki Break, which you do know I'm playing after seeing game 1 and stuff like that. But he does this. So all I can do with it is attack, set my Treeborn, and I'm like, this is actually not bad because I have so many outs. Flip Flop Frog isn't out. Like I said, all the Deep Prisons are outs. Raigeki Breaks are outs. There's a ton of outs. Like, my deck is actually full of Mirror Force isn't out. Like, Mirror Force is actually an out to this field because Stardust can't be used while Mask Restrict is on the field. So Mirror Force actually cooks this field. Anyway, he top decks Fossil Dyna, which he might have stacked last turn. I draw Heavy Storm, so he has Solemn. So if you have Solemn, this is even more reason for this to be a Thought Ruler Archfiend. So there's no reason again to do this non-bow. This does not do anything. And I'm wondering if he even knew. I guess he did know because he didn't try to tribute this, right? I don't know, but he has Fossil Dyna, so this is also a non-bow. His whole field is like a non-bow. It's really interesting. Like, I'm questioning if my opponent even knew that he could not use Stardust. Anyway, Summon Breaker, pop his face down Mirror Force, and attack over his Dyna. So now we are in a very simplified game state where I have more cards than my opponent, and I have a Treeborn in the graveyard. So next turn I'm going to have 5 cards. I'm going to bring back Treeborn and draw cards. So I'm going to have 5 to his 3. So I'm actually feeling pretty good about this game because if I draw a Swap Frog, I can send Flip Flop Frog to the grave, and I can salvage it back to my hand, and then I can bounce, swap, and then set Flip Flop and out the Stardust, right? And I actually don't care about Mask Restrict because I have an Alias, and I can just beat down for the rest of the game. So basically here I'm just praying that I draw into one of my many outs. Like I said, Mirror Force, Raigeki Break, Torrential is an out, Deep Prison is an out, like everything. Like, there's so many cards that are outs to this Stardust with Mask Restrict because it is effectively just a vanilla. But he does flip Crystal Seer. He goes into a Flamvel or Curzius, which I think this is also wrong. I actually think that it would have been better to... I think it would have been better to make Yugioh here. This is my only Treeborn Frog. Yeah, and it would deny me from playing Miracle Fusion as well, it looks like. Yeah. Alright, so that's game 2. Game 3, we are going to chef it up. Stratos, get Malicious. We set Dust Tornado, we set Deep Prison. One of the things I do like about Frogs when they open up no Treeborn is you can play like the other decks and just set trap cards. So he goes for Future Fusion on frame 1, and I'm like, absolutely fucking not. I know how broken this card is in Diva Hero. I've seen a True Hero do very nasty things with this. Spoiler alert, the next replay is against a True Hero. But yeah, I was not letting that resolve, so Dust Tornado there, obviously. And then he does the unthinkable. My opponent does the absolute unthinkable here, and he goes into a Yugioh Guardian and tries to attack my Stratos. Now, I get it, he's playing heroes too, so this would be a really good take, but there's no shot I'm going for all of that when my opponent has another back row. So at this point, I feel like this game is already over, right? Like, I don't think I'm going to lose this game now that my opponent basically is at 3 cards, and I'm at 5, and I'm going to have 7. Well, I was going to have 7 before he did this. I'm going to have 6 now, 6-3. So we Soul Exchange. We already had an out with Brain Control, but we drew Soul Exchange, so now I don't have to use Brain Control, which is actually really nice. Get in for 18, so Stratos returned. 1800 damage right here. Bounce the Treeborn Frog. We have a Geki Break. Don't need to use Foolish Burial yet. We can decide if we want a Foolish Burial Dandelion. We can decide if we want a Foolish Burial a Fishbrook Blaster when the time is necessary, but right now I'm just chilling because I have so much advantage. So this Malicious is the first Malicious, so I still have 1 in the deck. So I'll let him kill it. So he set 3 new back rows. I guess this is something to talk about. He set 3 new back rows, and I was like, I don't believe these back rows are real. I don't think all of them are real. I think if anything, one of them is real. But this card that you had right here that you had set since turn 1, I think this is real. I think this is a real trap. I think these are bullshit. So I Dust Tornado the old one, which is not something I normally do, but I knew that he was just desperate. He's at 3,400. He's down a lot, and it just seemed very desperate. So I dust the old one. Salvage back Substitute and Treeborn Frog. Infernal Prodigy being a god card, he solemns my normal summon of Substitute. Problem with that is you are at 1700. And he reveals his back rows are bullshit like I called. They are Brain Control and Miracle Fusion, which I knew that they were not real because I Dust Tornadoed the one that he had set earlier because I knew that that one was real. So my read was right. I knew that when he set 3 back row that there's no fucking shot that you have real traps when you do that. Like, that just did not, like, logically did not make sense. So I did not care about these at all, which is why I was going for wombo combo nonsense this turn. All right, moving on. Now I play a true hero. I don't think we've ever played in tournament, by the way. So I think this is the first time me and Cairo have ever played in an Edison Major. Mind you, we have competed in the same Edison Major multiple times. We've even topped the same Edison Major multiple times. But I don't think we've ever played against each other until now. So this is very interesting. He's on value. I'm on 60 cards. So I lose the die roll again, which, as you guys know, I go 1 in 7 in die rolls in this tournament. I am 1 in 7 in die rolls in this whole tournament. I win 1 die roll this entire bracket, which is crazy. So he opens up very good, I feel like, for value. Summon Greffer, pitch, value, send Necro, Allure. Like, that has to be, you cannot complain about that hand. Sets a back row. My hand is also very, very good. So I go Foolish Malicious, Banish Malicious, Summon Malicious, Summon Substitute. We're going to go Crazy. So if you notice, I actually left a lot of frogs in deck, and I did just like a soft, like a little soft situation here, a dupe frog, unifrog, which is a common thing. But I left a lot of frogs. I left Death Frog in the deck. There's 2 more dupe frogs in my deck, right? So if you look at my deck list, there's 2 more dupe frogs. There is a Death Frog, and there's more swap frogs in my deck. So I actually have, let me close some of these actually. Let me just do this real quick, sorry. So I actually left a lot of frogs in the deck because I have another Substone in my hand, right? And I planned for him to break this lock, and then I just do it again. So he Gardenas the Unifrog, which is great for me. And I have Deep Prison to cover the Arm Wing if he makes one next turn. So I'm in a really strong spot. So he sets up to do an Arm Wing, right? So I want to say this. I know people give Cairo a lot of shit for playing Lila. This card is actually good in value. Like, it actually is just a good card. You don't have to play it, but you don't have to play a lot of good cards in the format and in decks in general. But this card is not bad at all. What it just did is actually something that you could not accomplish with Raikou, right? If Raikou's your only charge target, or if Raikou's your only life form that you play in Vayu, you could not accomplish what he just did. He just cleared my D prison and summoned Armwing. And if he did not clear my D prison, this was going to run into a D prison, and I think he would just lose the game from that. Because you're not clearing this, and then I'm coming for this back row for free, and I also have Miracle Fusion, and I have like follow up. So clearing that D prison was actually extremely important. So here's what I was talking about. We're going to do another... so I summon Desfrog here, and I give him an ample response time. I special summon Desfrog, and I stopped viewing my deck, and I said thumbs up. And he goes thinking at 520. And eventually at 544, he says it's okay. So he thinks about Desfrog for 24 seconds, which to me tells me that his back row is bottomless trap hole. Because if it's torrential, you're not torrentialing this. There's no reason, right? That's not even a thought. But when he thought for 24 seconds, and if you're waiting 24 seconds actually in real life, like if you're sitting at a computer waiting for 24 seconds, it actually feels way longer. So that is a considerable amount of time to think on something when you're playing. And that told me that he had bottomless. So I summoned Desfrog to try to bait him because I have double miracle and I do not want him to bottomless my 0. And he thought about it. So I go summon 0. And here's where it gets a little tricky. So I summon 0, I put Miracle in the grave, and he flips up bottomless trap hole. But you guys know the problem with that is I have priority. And at the same time that he activates bottomless trap hole, I also activate Substitute's effect. You can kind of see that right here in the log. What he should have done, and he acknowledges this as well, is that he should have asked me for priority on the summon of 0. But I think he might have just forgot and flip the bottomless a little preemptively. So I activate Substitute's effect on summon of 0. Also, you know, me and Cairo are obviously cool. We're really, really close. We're in the same team. We're in the same Discord, like private Discord server and everything like that. So even if, like, if he wanted to, I would have been like, you can put the bottomless back face down. Like, I do not care, right? Like, I'm not about to make you keep your bottomless in the graveyard, because I know you would not normally bottomless a 0 on summon while there is a substitute on the field if you were like fully present, right? So if he wanted to be like, all right, I'm just not going to activate it, I would not argue with that at all. But I think that he's in one of those situations where he's like, you know what, fuck it, like I did it, I misplayed, it happens, I'm going to live with it. So I'm like, all right, well, we're just going to push forward here. And honestly, at this point, if you look at the situation chat, this game is super over now. Like, there's no shot. Even if he did not reveal the bottomless, and I used Prio on 0, which is what I was going to do anyway, which you can see from the log, the situation is exactly the same, basically, in the sense that I'm going to wipe his field down, and I would just go into Dupe Frog, get Swap Frog, send Dupe Frog, add Unifrog to my hand, bounce up Swap Frog or anything on the field, extra normal summon Unifrog, everybody attack, pop the back row that I wanted to pop since turn 1 when he Necro Guarded it, and then played the Miracle Fusions from that, the second Miracle Fusion from that perspective. So this game is super cooked no matter how you look at it. All right, so that's game 1. Game 2. So I get dust shooted again. I think this is like the 3rd or 4th time I've been dust shooted in 3 rounds. He puts back Vanity's Fiend, which is very interesting to me because I have a Caius in my hand. But this tells me that his hand probably can't deal with Vanity's Fiend, right? I mean, that's what I would assume, right? If your opponent sees Soul Exchange Vanities and they're like, put back Vanities, it's like, why are you doing that? So he chooses to put back Vanity's Fiend, and I make a joke about he lost in top 4 at EWCQ, the last one, 11, I think. He lost at EWCQ in top 4 to Seba, who won the event. Seba's one of the greatest frog players. He was on the channel very recently. Teach me how to cook, you guys. Or that comes out tomorrow. Or is that already out? It might already be out. Or it comes out tomorrow. I forget. Anyway, I think it comes out tomorrow. But Seba beat him with a Vanity's Fiend against Value Turbo. And I think Cairo, like, seeing the Vanity's Fiend, I was like making a joke like, oh, this is some Seba shit, like accident, bro, didn't mean to side that, which he thought was really funny. So he's like laughing at me making the joke about accidentally signing a Vanity's Fiend. I did not accidentally sign a Vanity's Fiend, by the way. I actually sided Vanity's Fiend against Value Turbo. So there you go. So I soul exchange Caius and I get a oppression and a Necro Gardener. And he knows I have Deep Prison, right? He knows my whole hand. So he knows my whole hand. He knows I have Deep Prison. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, like spoiler alert for this duel, this Deep Prison makes this entire duel extremely awkward. So he goes Summon Armageddon Knight, Send Plague, but he can't make Yugioh. I draw DD Crow, which is like fucking great. He goes Stack for Plague. The only card he doesn't know about is DD Crow. I Crow. So again, he knows I have Deep Prison, so he could make Armwing. But again, he knows I have Deep Prison. So like, it's really bad. I Tribute for Death Frog. Since he didn't attack with the Greffer. And now we're here. So right here, he decides to summon the Armwing and summon a Armageddon Knight to send value. At least this way, if I kill the Armwing, he'll upgrade it into an Armor Master. I'll draw a Dead Miracle Fusion. I do not have a hero, but I'm just going to attack. And I did think about not attacking this. Like I genuinely was like, I don't have to attack this. But I said, even if I kill it, he's in the same awkward situation he's been in the entire game where he knows I have Deep Prison and he cannot attack. No matter how you slice it, he's in the same exact position. Until he draws my most hated card in the whole format. When people ask me what's the card I hate the most, it's Gale and his Card Trooper. I've said this many times. These cards are fucking nonsense. They're one-ofs. They're broken as fuck. I promise you, if you look at how many games you lose because of Gale or Card Trooper, they're probably higher than you realize. Most people don't consider these cards to be like on the level of the other one-ofs, and I understand that, but they are ridiculous. They are absolutely ridiculous, and I hate them. So anyway, he draws Gale. Gale is the perfect card to draw here. And I have to think here about this because he attacks me and I realize if I don't Deep Prison, right? When he attacks with Gale, if I don't Deep Prison, he's not going to attack with this. Cairo is very smart. He'll just attack with Gale and pass. If I let this die, he'll just pass. He will not attack Armor Master. So I realized that at this point, I have to just Deep Prison the Gale and hope that I draw a hero. And for you wondering why I'm going to play like that, this has the highest density of heroes out of any Frog deck ever. This build that you see right here, this version of the 60 card Frog OTK Hero Frog deck that I'm playing, the way I built it where I added Alias and Inferno Prodigy, this has the highest density of heroes out of any Hero Frog deck. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 raw heroes. Then I have Rhoda and Double E-Call, so that's 9. Then I have Future Fusion and Foolish Burial, which are 10 and 11. So this plays 11 heroes. This is a higher density than literally any other Hero Frog deck. So I have a lot of heroes, is what I'm saying. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to Deep Prison the Gale. He'll kill one of my guys, which is fine. And then we'll just go from there. And I draw a Geki Break, which is like, okay, it's not what I wanted, but it's also not terrible. So I'm going to set this, obviously. And now he's back in that position where he really can't attack. Because if he attacks, he goes back into the whole, you just kind of lose. Because he's at 3,800 with a Gardener. So he drew something and decides to attack. So I don't, I know what he draws, but he draws a Sirocco here, which makes a lot of sense. Here we go. So he Gardeners the Alias attack, which tells me like, all right, he doesn't want to take all this damage. If you're wondering, I set E-Call here. I do have an Ocean. This is important. I should explain this. So I do have an Ocean in my deck, right? So this is live, but I don't want to play it. And the reason is because I want to have the MST possibility to pop this set so that I can make my Treeborn live, just in case he decides that he doesn't want to set a back row. So if he tries to deny my Treeborn access for the rest of the game by not setting a back row, I can just do it myself. And this is going to be relevant in a second. So he gets Raikou. Also, look at how much work this Alias is putting in, by the way. Like the Alias, he's going to pop the Alias. The Alias is actually really fucking good. So I have Gores. And I think you guys can see the writing on the wall here. He soul releases me. That card's terrible. So I'm like, at this point, I don't even need my graveyard to do anything. He summons Card Trooper. He is at 3,300. He mills 3. And he attacks me. And when he attacks me, I activate MST and I target my set E-Call. And I give him a chance to respond with Solemn, because Solemn is the only possible card that can save him right here. If he doesn't have Solemn, he fucking loses. So he lets this go through. I drop Gores. I get a 1900 token, and I already have the Heavy Storm. And the game is over. So that one, and there's the Ocean that I could have E-called earlier, but no reason to do that. So that was this round. This was a really cool duel. This set, I really enjoyed this set. All right, let's move on to Instant Crush. As you can see, I open up really strong, but I mean, it's not like this is honestly just like kind of standard, because you play triple salvage, triple sub, triple swap, all these fucking cards at 3. What's gonna be not okay though is what I draw from Array of Greed. What I draw from Array of Greed is why I played this deck. This deck is the funnest deck in the format for me now, and watch this. This is turn 1, by the way. This is like some modern Yu-Gi-Oh shit, and also this is why I play Future Fusion and Hero Frogs even when I'm not playing 60 cards, right? Because this card with Dandelion is nonsense when you have Substitute, and I think Future Fusion is just good in general. Again, this is turn 1. My opponent is literally playing Edison and I'm playing Modern. If you notice, I have 9 cards in this turn 1, chat. I have 9 cards. The only other deck that has 9 cards on turn 1 in Edison format is Dragon Turbo. Or Froggo TK, obviously, which this technically is Froggo TK. But yeah, this hand is so ridiculous, and these combos are so ridiculous, and I love this deck because you can do like everything. I also reveal Gaia to my opponents, since I never did that earlier. So they double Gold Sark for Future Fusion and Karma Cut, and I'm a little confused by that. So I'm like, I don't know what that means. I go into Unifrog. So this is me playing around Torrential Tribute. Obviously, I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to let you just, you know, get a Torrential off that actually has value to it. So I'm not going to activate any cards that would give you value here. So I make him Torrential, and I get my Dupe Frog effects. So if you really look at this situation, because I get these 2 dupe searches, and he loses these 2 cards, which is a DD Warlady Torrential. So he loses 2 cards, I lose 2 cards, I lose the flip-flop and the uni, but I get these 2 back. So this is a fair trade. And also, if you look at it, I have so many cards. Also, I want to talk about clocks. So I looked at my opponent, and they're going to get Future Fusion in 2 turns, right? They're at 8,000 right now, and I want to end the game with Brain Control. So I decide that I need to clock them right now. So I special summon Swap Frog, and I want to deal 28. I don't even bounce the Swap Frog, because if I want to, next turn I can tribute for Caius, and I can bounce it back to my hand. He MSTs on my draw phase to stop the Future Fusion, because Gaia was coming out as well, which would have added to my clock. Anyway, I decide to discard Malicious to summon Fishborg Blaster to summon Caius. So now I have Malicious Engrave, and I'm going to target his back row. It's bottomless. Now I can summon Malicious in attack mode. This adds to my clock. So now they're at 1600. I bounce up the Stratos because I do intend to Torrential if he summons 2 red meds. If he summons 1 red med, I'll take it. If he summons 2 red meds, I'll Torrential. Also, I want to say this too. Waiting 2 turns to play Future Fusion when my deck plays Triple Raigeki Break is kind of funny. Like, I know he had to be shitting bricks when he played Future Fusion, because like if I just simply have a Raigeki Break right here, he just loses the game because he waited 2 turns for that. But I don't have it. But on the end phase, he decides to summon Red Med, and I'm like, that's fine. But then he tries to summon a second Red Med, and that is not fine. summon, search out Infernal Prodigy, activate Brain Control. You can only Karma Cut one of these monsters. Because of the clock I put him on, he's at 1600 right now. So this is exactly why I played the math, like, just to this exact point. Like, literally, this was set up 3 turns ago. Like, 3 turns ago, I decided that this is how the game would end. And so you saw me special to swap, attack for 28. The next turn you saw me summon Caius and then summon Malicious just to do damage. Just to do damage. To put him at 1600. So that way, when I do this play right here, he literally dies no matter what. And it worked out exactly as I intended. This is my worst hand of the whole tournament. This is by far the most unplayable hand I drew. I have a breaker, but he Karma Cuts it. And like, this hand is bad, obviously, but it can be fixed with a lot of different cards. Substitute fixes it. E-Call, Rhoda fix it because I play Infernal Prodigy and Stratos, so they fix it. I also play Malicious, so Raigeki Break with Stratos to get Malicious fixes it. Swap Frog fixes it. 1-for-1 fixes it. The list goes on. Like, this hand can be fixed very easily. However, I'm going to draw a fucking Junk Synchron, and I was like, okay, deck. Luckily, I won game 1, right? I draw Pot of Avarice. I was like, okay, so this is actually just unplayable. I try to Raigeki Break the DD War Lady, and he Solemns it. And I think here about flipping the Junk Synchron, but I genuinely don't even want him to know that I set Junk Synchron. So I just decide I'm going next. I'm not even going to flip it. I don't even want him to know. All right, game 3. So my hand is Dupe Frog with Dust Tornado, and I have like some random, you know, just good cards to extend the game. Brain Control plus Monarch. Also, you always set Dust Tornado against Future Fusion decks, right? So like, just in case you open up Future Fusion, I wasn't having it. So now we have Dupe Block at home, right? So I could flip this Dupe Frog and then normal summon this Dupe Frog, and I will have a Dupe Block. But I actually want to conceal my, like, what's going on. Also, I would not mind getting Treeborn access if he kills one of these Dupe Frogs. So I kind of don't want a Dupe Block here. So he gives me Treeborn access now, which then makes my entire deck light up like a Christmas tree. So now I have D-Prison, so if he dares attack, you know, I'll obviously D-Prison. But he's smart. He does not attack, which is the correct thing to do. Foolish Malicious. At first, I thought I was going to do a Miracle Fusion play this turn, but then I realized, like, I could do something a little bit more nefarious. So I Brain Control his Prime Material, and I don't know that his face-down monster is a Red Eyes Wyvern. I am wondering if it's Wyvern or if it's DD War Lady. And if it's DD War Lady and I attack it, obviously he's not going to banish, but then I just get the +1 attack over his monster for no reason, and then I still get to tribute his Prime Material Dragon, right? So I was like, I want this to be DD War Lady. It was a Red Eyes Wyvern, which is fine, right? It's fine. And I tribute set Dark Dust Spirit. Now what's scary about this is this could just be Malicious and he doesn't know. Like, he doesn't even know I play Dark Dust Spirit. No one does, right? Like, so he summons this on the end phase, and I'm like, sure. I draw a Substitute. So I flip Dark Dust Spirit, because Dark Dust Spirit gets his effect when he's flip summoned. Attack for 22, first damage. It goes through, so these back rows don't stop attacks. Interesting. It's also not torrential. Interesting. Because you would definitely torrential that. He soul releases. Again, this card is fucking terrible, so this doesn't do anything. Summon Toad, he goes Oppression, I go Dust. Oh, he thought for a long time when I activate Dust Tornado. Like, when I go activate, where is it? Activate a set Dust Tornado, pointed at Royal Oppression. He went thinking at 2753, and then stop viewing graveyard, view the opponent's graveyard, viewing, set Oppression to the graveyard at 2804. So the fact that he didn't immediately put Oppression in the graveyard tells me that he has Solemn Judgment face down. Just keep that in mind. I think that he has Solemn Judgment face down. We are going to pot everything but Treeborn Frog. What's up, Neon? top of back row, it's called the Haunted. Also, just take note of how many cards I have right now, chat. My opponent has 5 cards to my 10. I literally have double my opponent's card advantage right now, and this is just the power of like frog nonsense. Like, it's just such a powerful deck. Even when you're playing 60 cards, I do think that this is a completely viable, I think this is a very viable 60 card deck. Like, this is, if you were ever to play 60 cards in this format, I think that I could literally play this, and I was 1 spot away from topping this event. I absolutely could top a major with 60 cards. I probably will, just for shits and giggles, because I like doing stuff like that. But yeah, this deck is 100% viable. So he mirror forces my Unifrog, which is exactly what we love to see. I continue with my pluses, so now I have 10 cards to his 4 cards. So it's gotten worse. He summons a Clocky Mirror Drago and does not attack. Also, he can't attack because of Dupe Frog. I mean, he can, but he can't. So it's like the game is over, and I think I ended this turn, right? This is the last turn, yeah. Summon this guy. He goes Pulling the Rug. Cool. Activate Miracle Fusion. He goes Torrential. I activate Regeki Break on his last back row. Miracle Fusion again. Special summon Swap Frog. My 0 is 3000 attack power because of the Swap Frog. And he is dead. And I had double D prison set, so there was no shot he was ever winning this game. Also, I want to say this too. I did not bring back Treeborn Frog a single time in this duel at all. So he soul released me this game, if you remember, right? He soul released me. At no point in this entire duel did I bring back Treeborn Frog. This game was played completely without Treeborn Frog. Even though it was in the graveyard at one point, he soul released it, then I put it back in the graveyard, and I still never used it. And when the game ended, I was +6 on him. So just to be clear, like, Hero Frogs and Frog decks in general, a lot of them can just play without Treeborn Frog, and some of the best Frog players are very aware and talk about that a lot in the Frog Discord channel. If you know, you know. Anyway, moving on to this one. I lose the die roll again. Like I said, I'm 1 in 7 in die rolls, but we never cared, not once. My hand is actually really strong, but I decide to keep it tame. I could have gone Balls to the Walls, Special Summon, Swap Frog, Send Substitute, play Salvage, add back Substitute, and all that good stuff. I could have done all of that, you know, crazy, gnarly stuff, but I decided to keep it very chill. And I didn't know what he was playing. He's playing Black Wings, I'm realizing, so I'm like, okay. So we're going to Regeki Break. So I summon Death Frog, and whenever I summon Death Frog, I always give my opponent ample time to bottomless or whatever. So that's why I thumbs up, because I'm like, I'm not using priority. If you want to bottomless the Death Frog, that's absolutely fine, but I'm not using priority here. Extra normal summon the Unifrog, so this is my turn 2 play. As you can see, this is absolutely fucking ridiculous. This is literally the second turn, or my second turn. He activates Jar of Greed. I was about to say, is he not going to bounce this Flip-Flop Frog? Because, like, you'll just lose flat out if you don't bounce Flip-Flop Frog, right? The problem is, my opponent had to use all their cards in order to break a dupe block, which is usually, like, really good for Frogs. It's a win condition when people do this, so I'm very happy and pleased with him doing that. Also, I know some people might not know this because not everybody's a Frog player, but the Death Frog is dangerous to leave. Because I have Treeborn access and I have Fishborn in the grave. So, like, you can't leave a Death Frog on the field either. Because I bring back Treeborn, now I can activate Fishborn Blaster and make my own Brionac or Yugioh or Black Rose. So him leaving the Death Frog is actually, like, really bad. And we're just going for big beats. Big beats! I want to drop him really, really low. To the point where if I draw a Caius, if I draw a salvage, like just a bunch of different things, you just die, right? He draws and scoops. Next game. So take note, game one, I noticed my opponent was playing draw traps. My hand is cracked out of this world. So yeah, I have no fear. So the reason why I played this, because I know that he could have oppression, right? Oppression is a very likely back row that he could have turn one. But I figure if I play this and he activates oppression, I still can go activate Rhoda, get Stratos, summon Stratos, search Malicious, set Raigeki Break, attack for 18. And I can still go next turn, banish Malicious, summon Malicious, normal summon Substitute. If he tries to oppression the Malicious, I can Raigeki Break it. Right? And then Pot of Avarice is live with the Substitute combo when I go mill, 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 mill. So I play this Future Fusion just to bait out oppression if he has it. When he didn't have it, I was like, well, now you just lose. Keep in mind, this is my first turn. This is my first turn. I went second. I have 8 cards right now. I have 8 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I went second, and this is my first turn. Just keep that in mind. And just as I had suspected, they are not real, but Unifrog doesn't give a fuck because you having to flip them is good for me because then you can't use them to do annoying shit like activate Yada, activate Icarus attack, activate Yada, activate Deck Devi. He crows my pot, which is fine, so I'm still at 7 cards. So he tries to set 2 back row and a monster, and I am not playing games with people who try to set DDV and Sirocco. I don't know what this face down monster is, but I'm not dealing with the guessing game. I'm not going to try to pop a back row here. If it's Sirocco, I'll Raigeki Break it. If it's False Dyna, Raigeki Break it. Same thing. On the end phase, so that way they can't solemn or whatever. And I still have the Unifrog, which is threatening the 2 back row. So if he did set Deck Devi, like I have that covered too. So we just go attack here. He deprisons, and then we're going to go Rota for Stratos to keep the pluses going. And he scoops. So if you want to see his hand, he just has a Trap Death Shoot set, and I happen to strangely have been under Trap Death Shoot this entire game, even though I had 8 cards on turn 1, but he drew this after I did my first turn. And then he just has a bunch of monsters, and I'm getting Elemental Hero Gaia next turn, right? Gaia comes out from Future Fusion, and he was just like, yeah, I can't break Dupe Block. You got rid of my False Dyna. I'm out of here. All right. I go second again. Every round but one I went second. This is crazy. It's supposed to be 50-50. It's not. Anyway, so my opponent goes Summon Stratos, Search. And I'm like, okay, well, they're on Hero Frogs, clearly. Also, I'm like, I'm just not waiting. Look at my hand, chat. Why would I wait? Look at how broken this deck is, bro. Look at this turn 1. Look at this turn 1, chat. Like look at this. This is actually OD. One of the things I love about Absolute Zero in the Frog Mirror match is that it's a turn skip. So we had to spend a whole turn just going into Caius and passing, which is like, but you basically skip your turn. So we summoned the first Absolute Zero with Polymerization. This one we summoned with Miracle Fusion. And that's the scary thing about this deck. It has 5 ways to summon Zero, or 6 with Future Fusion. This deck has 6 ways to summon Absolute Zero. So I deny giving him Treeborn access right here. So I'm not going to. I decided I'm not going to attack this Dew Frog. Is what's going on here. We're all done here. So just full disclosure, Ocean right there was really strong because I can bring back Treeborn, summon Ocean, and because Ocean is a water monster, I can sync with Fishborg Blaster, so he was dead. Just so you're like, if you're wondering what's going on. So we get Water Art, which my hand is so good that Water Art, I'm not gonna say it's not good, but it doesn't brick me, right? So he has to take the Toad away. I accidentally put it on top of the deck, but we're gonna mill it in a second. No worries. Okay, so standby phase, we are going to Wing Blast the Treeborn. This is one of the things I do like about Wing Blast. I think Wing Blast is definitely inferior to Raigeki Break, which is why I play 2 Raigeki Breaks and only 1 Wing Blast. And in general, I think that I always go Raigeki Breaks before Wing Blast in Frogs. But I do like that you can do what I just did, which is spin a Treeborn in a standby phase back to the top of the opponent's deck. So they have to spend an entire turn without Treeborn and either re-establishing it, which is slow, right? So we draw Future Fusion and we have Rhoda, so we have Junk Synchron in the deck, and I'm like, I could do some cute shit here, like nothing too crazy, but like I can make pot live, I can Future Fusion, send swap to the grave. So I have like cute shit. 1 second. I have some, let me just check these. Okay, so yeah, I get to play pot and I get to summon an android and I have a 0 coming out in 2 turns. So I feel really strong and I have a live malicious in case I do draw a Monarch or a Substitute. And yeah, so I'm feeling good. Like I'm like, all right, let's play Yu-Gi-Oh. I draw Raigeki Break, Dandelion. Unfortunately, my opponent's card quality is extremely high this game, and that's just Hero Frogs being Hero Frogs, so I wasn't mad at it at all. He just has like really good cards. I was debating on Raigeki Breaking when he summoned Prodigy. Like I really did think about it, because I was like, man, I know if he summons Prodigy, he has so many good follow-ups, like a Monarch, for example. But I was like, if he has Miracle Fusion and not Raigeki Break a Prodigy, I'm going to be so mad at myself. So I do not Raigeki Break anything. And I'm waiting for a 0. And I get my wish. So here we have to ask the judge, how does Raigeki Break discard Dandelion work on Absolute Zero? A lot of people do not know this, but there's something in Edison called Early Trigger. My opponent didn't know how this works either. So Early Trigger means that Dandelion goes on the chain first, even though you're turn player and you have a mandatory effect. Dandelion is a mandatory effect. And even though I'm your opponent, my effect still goes on the chain before yours because that's how Early Trigger works. So again, Raigeki Break, discard Dandelion, pop your opponent's Absolute Zero. Dandelion is chain link 1, 0 is chain link 2. Wipe the field, then summon 2 tokens. We had a 10-minute conversation with the judge about this. Oh, I knew this wasn't going to stick. Obviously, like a Monarch, he could just tribute for a Monarch or whatever. I'm cooked. Like I'm so cooked. Yeah. That was also my 5th monster. If that went to the graveyard, I could pot again. But I'm gonna be honest, even if I could pot, I don't think I was gonna like win from that. But yeah, we're down horrendous this game. It's fine. All right, game three. Game three. All right, so my opening hand is Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory Cuckoo Bananas bullshit. And that's why we play this deck, because you get to do all the cute shit you ever wanted to do. So we pass. We have outs to Vanity's Fiend, so if he gets like crazy and tries to go like turn one Infernal Prodigy, Vanity's Fiend or some weird shit, or brain control Vanity's Fiend, like we have a Geki break. Not too worried. He does have his own ugly Stratos, which don't know why he's playing the Stratos, but okay. And he does the exact same play I did. Like literally, we have the exact same setup turn one. He does not attack me. He's playing around Gores, you know, 60 cards. Playing around Gores is crazy, but go off. I rip 1 for 1, which is a God card. So I'm gonna be honest, as soon as this happened, I was like, the game's over. You cannot win from this standpoint. Like, it is just not possible to win from here. Your life points are entirely too low, and you kind of need life points to use as a resource. So like once I did this in the mirror match, I was like, there's no shot he's winning this game. And then I get to do this too. So going back to what I was talking about, stunning your opponent for a turn and DD crowing their Treeborn Frog, so now he has to spend an entire turn reestablishing Treeborn Frog basically, is not only really strong, but he's at 2,500 life points, so he can't like really, he doesn't really have the courtesy of that. I special Prodigy because I felt like, you know, he might have Crow. He does have Crow. So I special Prodigy first because I did only have one hero in my graveyard, and that was Ocean. Since Kai is my absolute zero. I also have E-Call anyway. But yeah, special this first, play Miracle Fusion, that way no fuckery can happen. And technically I also could have activated Raigeki Break if he chained Crow, and I could have discarded this to target Miracle Fusion and I still would have fused. So he could not have stopped this Miracle Fusion from resolving no matter what he did. This is not necessary either. This is gratuitous. Okay. So that's the end of that. 1 second. Let me just do this one thing real quick. All right, now I'm gonna do my losses real quick. Both of them are, I get 2-0'd, and they're not, there's nothing I could, well, you'll just see. They're not very competitive though. So this is the first loss, and then I'll end the stream and then restart the stream to do redo. So this is my hand. This hand is really, really bad. Needless to say, my opponent's hand is not really, really bad. But if I, you know what's crazy? So as bad as my hand is, if I draw a hero here, I actually like clear his entire field. I do not draw a hero, and I lose. This game, my hand is not bad, but like it's very susceptible to getting blown out if my opponent has a good start. I get Death Shoot it, of course. So now my hand is worse. By the way, I think this deck plays 30 monsters and 30 spells and traps, chat. I played 30 monsters and 30 spells and traps. So it's just kind of funny that, like, I think 2 games in a row, I just opened up, like, you know, all monsters. I was like, all right, well, you know, it can happen, obviously. But yeah, we're just going to get fucking stomped into the ground. And I do have a play here. I have a Black Rose play, basically, because I have Swap Frog with, like, a Water Monster and Junk Synchron and all that. He has Solemn Judgment, and I'm dead. So as you can see, these were basically 2 non-games. I didn't really do much. And then let's go to the next one real quick. This one, I think I could have played game 1 better. And I will explain when we get to that point. So I'll open up Substitute, Tribute, Get Swap. Now I don't know what he's playing. Right? Because this is game 1. I don't know what he's playing. So I draw a Unifrog here, and I'm like, I kind of do want to pressure his back row. So he drew Dust Shoot, obviously, because if he had Dust Shoot earlier, he would have fucking said it. Dust Shoot cooks me because now I don't have a Monarch for any future follow-up play that he does. So now my hand is just awkward for the sake of being awkward. Like, now my hand is just awkward, and I need to draw a hero monster. I need to draw E-Call Rotor to get Stratos to make King of the Swamp broken. I also didn't realize, because, you know, I'm new to this deck, I was realizing, like, wait a second, I should probably discard this King of the Swamp now. So I think I'm going to do that main phase too, so that I don't draw Polymerization. Because, like, holding the King of the Swamp doesn't really do anything for me, right? So I was like, let me thin my deck out by 1 card just to have a less chance of drawing this shit. But I really need to draw a hero here to make this hand like actually playable again, because right now this hand is really, really bad. And he has worst case scenario for me, which is Sirocco Bora. And it just absolutely, and see what was broken about this specifically is that it makes my Gores really bad, because I normally against other decks or even against just like a lone Bora, I could just pass, right? And I could drop Gores. But because he has Sirocco, I actually can't pass, because if he summons a Blizzard, or if he summons a Shura or another Bora or a Kalut or whatever, he goes pump and I die, right? I'm at 54. So I can't actually like just pass and blatantly have Gores. So he summons a Shura. Luckily, I have a Dupe Frog, so like you can basically say this attack is canceled right here, right? Like this amount is canceled, but then I still take 35. And I'm in the same position where I need to draw a hero monster. And the crazy thing is, I'll just show both now. If I draw a hero monster, I actually clear all of his monsters, and he has no more monsters. He just has traps. So I can just summon a 0. Like if I draw a hero, I summon a 0. He either bottomlesses it or he doesn't. I don't fucking care which one he does because it's all the same to me. But I clear all of his shit. Instead, I draw a giant Trunade, and we are dead. And then game 2, this is going to be a Whirlwind game, and I do not have a hand that can deal with Whirlwind. So I searched out Deathfrog so that way I have a Soul Exchange Deathfrog play now, if you're wondering what I was doing with that. Because you can search this card with Dupe Frog. It's nice too because this is a searchable tribute monster. So if you have Soul Exchange and like you're worried that Soul Exchange is ever going to be dead in frogs, you can just search Deathfrog. So we do have a Miracle Fusion play. It is a bit desperate, but we do have to go for it. And honestly, at this point, it's like if this goes through somehow, I'm great. But he has Torrential Tribute, so Stardust with Torrential Tribute. We pot everything back, and weirdly enough, if you look at the situation right here, so he's resolved Whirlwind like 3 times already, right, chat? But I'm potting to 6 cards, right? And he has 6 cards right now, so I'm actually not out of the game right here. Like I need to basically draw, like if I need to draw some good cards, but right here when I pot, I'm like, okay, this has not gotten out of hand for as many searches as he's had. He had to torrential his own Stardust Dragon, which he invested cards into. So like, this is actually a good spot for me I don't draw that great off of the Avarice, unfortunately, so we go Future Fusion, send Malicious, and send a Swap Frog. That way, one, at least I'll have a 0 coming out in 2 turns, is the thought. 2, I have Malicious in the graveyard, because I can't use Treeborn right now, obviously, so I can still tribute for a Monarch or whatever. And we're dead. Okay, so again, I went 6-2. I got 17th. My tiebreaker from day one was really bad. He ended up going 2-3. The Machina guy that I played, this Burger Friend person. I think they might have only beaten me, and then they lost like the next 3 or something. So because my tiebreaker was really, really bad, I knew day one, I was like, I don't think I'm going to top. And I was telling like Raw Neck and Hydro Pump, we're both X1. They both topped this event. They were messaged. We have our own, obviously, team group chat, our Discord server, Ring of Destruction. And they were like, oh shit, like we all have a chance. And I was like, y'all have a chance. Y'all are X1, but my tiebreaker is really bad. My other tiebreaker, Scoop Phase, is good. But my one tiebreaker is so bad that I just do not think I'm going to make it no matter what. But I did still play out every round, and I went 6-2. So again, here's the deck list. Closing thoughts. I think this deck, again, like I said, is very good. I think it's viable. Would I play it again? Absolutely. I would definitely make some changes, which I have some ideas. I'm not going to like say everything that I'm thinking yet, because I'm not exactly sure about them yet, and I haven't really tested them. And by testing, I mean going into solo mode, because that is how I tested this deck. I did not play against anybody in my team or on my team with this deck. I've never played anybody with this deck. I just went to solo mode, and just that's how I tend to practice frog decks. So, but I have some ideas of things that I want to do to just try to improve it slightly. But I did make some improvements over the original list, in my opinion. This is the original list, right? And the original list is playing Mother Grizzly, 2 Dust Frogs. I cannot believe he played 2 Dust Frogs. This card is really annoying to draw, and I drew it a lot, if you notice from the replays. And if you're going to cut these water monsters, I think that, you know, I cut a Moray Agreed. So you notice I only play 2 Moray Agreeds. This is simultaneously the best and the worst card in the deck. So this is an interesting card. It's both the best and worst card. But I cut it down to 2. And I also added Alias and Infernal Prodigy to give the deck a little bit more hero density, and also because E-Call with just Stratos and Ocean playing double E-Call, I really didn't like that. I also just like Alias as a card, like going into beatdown mode. If you saw from the 8 replays that we just went through, Alias actually was really, really fucking good. And Infernal Prodigy was really good too. Some hands open up Infernal Prodigy Substitute. Having Infernal Prodigy as access when you have no Treeborn Frog is really strong. Just all the same ideas that I brought to Hero Frogs, right? Like, they're all applicable in this Frog OTK Hero Frog build of the deck. And yeah, I made deck a D Prison over the 3rd Moray Agreed. I think D Prison is great. Also, by maining a D Prison, I get to clear up side deck space to play Soul Exchange, but I think Soul Exchange is also, for me, it's mandatory. I never play Frog decks without Soul Exchange. So yeah, this is the list, right? This is the list as the tournament report. I'm going to end the stream and start the redo tournament now. So we have a $125 redo tournament happening right now. So I'm about to switch over to that. So I'm going to end this stream, but thank you guys so much for watching this. Stay on the channel. I'm going to be live in like less than 2 minutes, right? So I'm going to end this one here. Hope you guys enjoyed the tournament report and all 8 replays. I went 1-7 in die rolls. We hit 17th place. We do it for the memes. We do it for the content. I love doing this shit, guys. I'm going to play this deck again for sure. And just probably like some slight changes or whatever. But yeah, I will catch you in like 2 minutes.